सरदार गुरसंत सिंह जिहड़े कि अमरीकी मूल के सिख हैं। 35 साल पहला सिंह सजे पंजाब के उन्होंने दौरे किए और हरमंदिर साहब भी गए और सिक्खी नूं धारण करके उसनूं निभा रहे हैं। अजकल यूबा सिटी के विच हैं, हर वेले अपने नाल अस्त्र शस्त्र रखते हैं और उन्होंने मंग है कि जे उन्होंने अपने धर्म की पालना करनी है, उन्होंने धार्मिक अकीदे के मुताबिक उन्होंने एक असॉल्ट राइफल भी रखने की इजाजत होनी चाहिए है। उन्होंने अपने लॉजिक हैं, पर इस सारे ही वावरोले दे विच जिहड़ा मूल एक मंग है किरपान की, वो मंग किधरे गवाची जाती है। इन्हां दे काफ़ी दिलचस्प लॉजिक हैं, असीं इन्हां नाल गलबात कर रहे हैं। सर गुरसंत सिंह जी, you are welcome back after the short break. Now, I have to tell you and ask you something. You said that Kirpan is a symbol of Sikhism. May I humbly add that the Kirpan is not a symbol, because symbol is something which symbolizes something. Now, the Kirpan does not symbolize something. It's an article itself. So, and it is not merely an article, it is an article of faith. When it is an article of faith, then the law and the universal law recognizes that I have an inherent right to carry this always with me. But you said that, the Shastra has said that we have to carry different Astar Shastra. Of course, Guru Gobind Singh Ji has said that As Kirpan Khando Khadak Tupak Tabar Artir Sahib Sarohi Sahithi Yehe Hamare Teer. In the list he has given even the arrows, the balls, the swords and the cannon also.
Guns,
but
yes.
This logic, are we going to demand that we should be allowed to carry a cannon also?
No, there's no need for one. I think there's a need in modern society for Sikhs to have assault rifles because of self-defense.
Okay, now coming to this particular point, that what is needed. Now, I may need, I may not need, that means it is according to the circumstances. But the religious law does not go by the circumstances. Like wherever I am, I have the privilege and the right and the obligation to carry a kirpan. Now, can we put kirpan at par with the other vessels? That is my simple, humble request to you to please clarify that anything can be put at par with the kirpan. And as you yourself mentioned, Guru Gobind Singh Ji himself has bowed his head to the sword and saying Pagoti, Pratham Pagoti Simrke. He is not mentioned here of any other weapon.
Yes, he did. He did.
We have to have the modern weapons. Can, by a stretch of imagination, can we stretch this to a piece of atom also?
Yes, he clearly, Guru Gobind Singh Ji clearly mentions other weapons. He used guns. He talks about in his Zafarnama letter to Emperor Aurangzeb, he clearly spells out that Sikhs the ethos use of arms. And he says that, he says here in verse 41, it was this that made him decide perforce to join battle with your hosts, and I too fought with arrows and muskets best as I could. Because when a situation is past, every other remedy is righteous to unsheath the sword to defend and dispel the aggressor. It's a logical deduction.
What you are mentioning is but here also he is mentioning the compulsory thing is the sword. The sword is a kirpan, or Siri Sahib is a symbol that symbolizes the whole issue of keeping it. So, but my humble point is that are we not going to, by asking for the assault weapons, are we not going to confuse with the basic demand of carrying even a small 6-inch kirpan always and everywhere and anywhere?
I don't think there's any problem I think that we were given the 5 Ks, which is definitely a given. Guru Gobind Singh also said that we should keep all weapons, all right? And so I think that because there's a need for assault rifles and these high-capacity magazines, if you will, in order to defend ourselves and adequately defend those that can't defend themselves, I definitely think you can make the deduction that Guru Gobind Singh would have us have all weapons, and it's borne out in the facts. The Sikhs used any weapons that were available to them in all of their wars and all of their battles. If Guru Gobind Singh would have had assault weapons available to him, I am sure he would have used them. Don't you agree?
I agree to so many things, but my point was very simple, that first, the basic thing is, for a society, it is the society or the representatives of the society, they have the right and privilege to decide that what is to be allowed and what is not to be allowed. But the point is that our right of having a Quran always, that is our fundamental religious right, and to profess our religion. Now, I may mention here that even Article 25 of the Indian Constitution says that every person has the right to profess his religion, and next is an explanation. Normally, the Constitution does not give explanation, but here the explanation is given that carrying and possessing of Qur'ans by a Sikh is professing his religion. Now, as far as professing of religion is concerned, it is if the Sikh is allowed to carry his Qur'an, that is sufficient for it. But it is for the society to decide what sort of weapons and assault rifles or anything that are to be allowed and permitted for the subjects. Don't you agree to this?
I think we have a religious obligation to use the weapons that will be efficient and effective in defending ourselves and defending ourselves. And as a religious obligation, I think that we have to use those weapons that are most effective. I think it's very clear how Guru Gobind Singh sets this out. He says that we should have weapons of all kinds. It doesn't say just swords. And it's also, I think it's a very standard deduction, if you will, or implication, that sword has a meaning of a weapon of self-defense. And because swords were the most well-known and well-accepted kind of weapon during the 16 and 1700s, then I think that we can extrapolate and say that guns would have been certainly considered a weapon of choice if they'd have been around in more abundance.
Yes, and even today, it is not that the sword was a very favorable weapon of that time. Even today, if even in the army, if some salute is to be given, that is given by the sword, and wherever if somebody is honored, then the sword is given, even the parade also and everything. But anyway, your assertions and your, as you said, that confessions are very, very interesting, and at least is open give a new dimension to the whole issue and a new perspective. And I hope that we have to carry the purpose, at least the basic things, what we have to carry. We are allowed to carry the basic Qur'an with us all the time. So nice of you. Thank you very much. And really we are obliged and hope our viewers have enjoyed your views. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.